Why do we do that now with our GPS?
And now we have the cell phones that have it, the stalking boyfriend cell phones that I love.
Oh, is that how you think of that technology?
That's what it is, where your boyfriend can say to you, like, I'm on my way home, or I'm on Planet Nebula. Are you really? Because according to these coordinates, you're at O. Henry's Pub, you lying idiot.
So ours, I don't know how their technology worked, but ours, we beam it off of GPS satellites that have precise positioning of longitude and latitude and time on Earth. And you receive that signal and send a signal. We know exactly where you are.
So all that stuff we see on CSI now, too, a lot of that comes from Star Trek ideas.
Well, when they're like...
Because on all those crime shows, they're constantly finding people because they're like, according to the satellite tower, the phone call was made at this time.
Yes, okay. Well, that would just be the cell phone towers. Not satellite towers.
Oh, I'm sorry, cell phone tower.
I'm trying to tell you how it goes. Also, my favorite of all was the...
It's Sunday afternoon at like 2 o'clock. I just woke up an hour ago.
My favorite is the medical tricorder. That's my favorite. The way they wave it over your body and they get to know all your ailments just in one...
Oh, Dr. McCoy did that.
Yes. I just love that. And we kind of have that today.
Do we have it?
It's kind of the MRI, the machine we sort of slide you into and
that's not the same thing.
Yes, it is. We find out what's going on inside your body without cutting you open.
No, on Star Trek, there was a little thing in his hand. Oh, come on, back me up, Trekkies. Call in.
Okay, no, but the idea is the same. In order to know what's going on inside of you without cutting you open.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm fighting with you, but the truth is, everything starts big and gets small, unfortunately. But
yes,
it is true, isn't it? Because remember we had betas and all those things. Now they're...
Well, the first computers were the sizes of rooms, and now you carry them around in your pocket. Right. So who am I to say that we're not going to have pocket MRIs in the future? Sure.
Oh, my God.
Not.
Oh, my manager's the biggest hypochondriac. I can't imagine him having a pocket MRI. Do it again. Check me. CAT scan me one more time.
And I got the MRI stands for magnetic resonance imaging. And by the way...
Great. I'm so glad I knew that. I'll put that in my don't care bag. Thank you.
It comes from a physics principle called nuclear magnetic resonance.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was discovered by a physicist who had no particular interest in medicine. So I submit to you that every medical device in a hospital that has an on-off switch is based on some physical principle discovered by a physicist in a lab somewhere.
I submit to you. Why?
We can submit to each other.
I would submit to you, and I'd like you to get back to me in a submission. Mm-hmm. Why did I was going to say something so dirty. I'm so glad I edited myself.
She's a comedian, people.
Why did if he had no interest in it, why did he do it?
No, he didn't have interest in medical applications. It was a frontier of physics where if you blast nuclei with a very strong magnetic field, you can align the spin. It's called a spin. It's a quantum mechanical spin, but just call it spin. You can align the spin of the nucleus.
Go ahead and say that with a totally straight face.
And it can affect the direction of light that you pass across those atoms.
That's very interesting.
And in so doing, you can make a three-dimensional map of what the light passed through. And in this case, you do it with X-rays, for example.
All right. What else do they use them for?
Well, you find out what's inside of things. In fact, they do it to find out what's inside of mummies without having to open up mummies. It has very wide application. So
wait a minute.
So at first,
we know what was inside of mummies. It was a person.
Yes, but you want to know, is it male, female? What do the bones look like? How many teeth they have left without?
Can't you tell by the bump on the way they wrap it?
I mean, if it was
That's
male
the way
or
I
female.
always figured they could tell if it was male or female. It has a bump.
I don't know. I'm not a mummyologist. They also had a tricorder, of course, I think it was also called a tricorder, where they can decide whether it's an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, whether there are life forms around that might
can
attack
detect
them.
like bacteria?
Bacteria, oh yeah.
Can they make those for personal use? Because I could use one like in a hotel room. I want to know what's going on.
NASA has a version that can detect bacteria, like on the space station and things. But
oh my God, wouldn't that be great to buy that?
I don't know if it can tell it if it's around the corner the way they could on Star Trek. I don't know.
Who used that all the time?
Let me remind people what they're listening
to.
You are listening to Startalk. Today our subject is Star Trek, and I'm your host, Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist, and I'm with my co-host, comedian Lynn Coplet.
Hello.
Yes. Did you know, Lynn, also that I think while they're communicators on Star Trek worked under any conditions unless there was some force field preventing it, our cell phones, which use microwave technology, have a hard time working through water.
What do you mean it was microwave?
Well, because microwaves are absorbed by water. That's how microwave ovens work, actually.
Oh, I thought you meant Mike. Oh, okay. I was really gonna make myself look stupid.
No. So with Mike.
Woo! Lots of self-editing today.
Right. So if a thunderstorm comes over while you're using your cell phone, it will greatly interfere with your reception, because the cell phone signal, which is microwaves, is trying to get through the cloud, which is laden with water, and most of that gets absorbed and interfered with.
Is there a way to use another kind of energy? Because there's lots of different energies, right?
The problem
Not
is
just electromagnetic.
Exactly. Long wavelength radio waves could get through a rain cloud, but then you would need a receiver that was much bigger than the cell phones we use.
I think your smart's rubbing off on me. You got your smart in my dummy, and I got my dummy in your smart. It's like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh, one more thing that I think is great is back then they had the phaser. The phaser, normally it would be used to like vaporize someone, but they could put it on stun. I think that was the first ever non-lethal weaponry ever shown.
That's like the taser now.
Like the taser, yes.
That definitely came from that.
Yes. Well, certainly the name of the product surely was derived from Star Trek phaser, surely.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But we don't have anything that can evaporate you phaser, like, do we?
Not that you carry on your hip. We have things to evaporate you, but not that you would carry around in a holster. No.
We do have things that can evaporate?
Completely, of course. They're
Where
called
is
hydrogen bombs. There's a lot. I don't mean to laugh. I'm just saying we have larger weapons that could vaporize
But do we have
villages.
like a pepper spray kind of thing? I'm saying where you could put it on your utility belt the way the Star Trek people do?
That would be non-lethal weapons. I don't know that we have anything handheld in your pocket that could vaporize your
Thank God, because I live in New York City and that would be a horrible. Can you imagine? Everybody would be nice to each other. You'd get vaporized for no reason.
Now, it's not only stuff that we have today that we know was inspired by Star Trek. There are things that I think we have not yet come around that they showed and portrayed and was part of everyday life. And let's go back to my interview with Lawrence Krauss to hear what he has to say about technology we're waiting for. Tell me about the transporter.
Okay, the transporter is what seduced me to write the book, by the way, because like you, I'm sure I'm on planes a lot, and I really wanted to avoid, even before this long security lines, all of the hassle. And I started to think, wow, how would you make a transporter? And all the neat physics you have to think about. But right away, I realized I would not make a transporter the way the Star Trek writers tell you to, because I have surfed the internet, and I have seen the light. Namely, I've downloaded...
Some people surf the internet and see the dark.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Well, the point is, again, if you open the Star Trek Techno Manual from your back pocket, you'll see that the way the transporter works is very simple. They take you and they disintegrate you into individual atoms and a matter stream, and they move your atoms from one place to another, and they put it back together again.
So it's actually moving matter, not energy.
That's right. Well, I mean, they try and convert it to energy, which is, by the way, a problem, because if you convert the average human being into energy, the energy equivalent of the average human being would be about 1,100 megaton nuclear weapons explosions, which is not, as we like to say in New York City, environmentally friendly. But I'm a physicist, not an engineer, so I'm not going to worry about that so much.
There you go.
But that is a big problem with taking the matter or energy. But information can travel at the speed of light very easily. And on the internet, we can do it. And so what I would do if I were going to make a transporter is I would scan you and take all the information that makes you up as a human being.
And then reconstruct you at the other side.
Yeah, but that's a problem, though, because I haven't transported you because you're still here. But that's simple. I vaporize you here, and then you're only over there.
Well, so you'd kill me?
Yeah.
So there's only ever one of me?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Otherwise, you'd be cloning me.
In fact, actually, I've pointed out if you could make transporters the way I say you could make transporters, although I also point out you can't ultimately do it, it'd even be worse. If you think of all the ethical dilemmas regarding things like stem cells and other things nowadays, they pale in comparison. Because not only could I clone you, I could make a backup copy of you. So if you got sick, I could just shoot you and call up the backup copy. And
don't have to spend any money on healthcare.
Exactly. The backup copy wouldn't have the memories the last few months, but it'd be healthy. These things would be fascinating. But unfortunately, as I point out, even that information transfer has a problem, and I think will make the transporter impossible. It's a very fancy law of physics called the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
There you go.
Okay, so
yeah.
Based on that little clip, my question is he saying he could trap you in a computer?
The information that is all that you are and your essence, yes, he can store that on a computer.
He can steal your soul.
Larry
Krauss can steal your soul.
Yeah, that's that might have soul implications. Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about, this was
Well,
funny
so
to
you
me.
asked the question. If you're in one spaceship, you're beamed. All the information content of you is beamed to another spaceship.
Right.
Are they beaming also what you are calling your soul? Because if it's without your soul, then you're some other kind of person at that thing.
But my body would die. Right now they don't know what to do with your body.
With your leftover body on the other ship, because now there are two of you. Yes, that's part of the problem.
Oh, wow, that's so wild. And then also, Lawrence Krauss was saying something about, well, that's not my problem because I'm a physicist. That just made me laugh because I'm like, okay, well, how does an engineer and a physicist how do they work together?
The physicist comes up with theories of the universe and tests them and finds out when they're true. And then the technologist, the engineer, invokes those theories for applications. And they make stuff. They make devices.
So the physicist is like, I think all this would be good in a cake. Yeah. And then the engineer goes and bakes it.
Or they bake a kind of cake that the physicist hadn't thought of that could be baked in the first place.
Interesting.
You're listening to Startalk. We're tweetable at Startalk Radio. And we are also available to you with 20th century technology called the telephone, 1-877-5-StarTalk. We've got a call. I think we've got Michael from Newport Beach. Michael, what's your question first?
Hi, Michael.
Hi. First of all, it's an honor to talk to you, Dr. Tyson. I'm a big fan, and I've agreed with everything.
What am I, chop liver? I'm getting tired of all these honor to talk to you, Dr. Tyson.
They will learn that it's also an honor to talk to you.
And we like your hooker, too.
Right.
Yes.
Go on, Michael. I'm sorry.
You've been very funny today and actually asked some good questions. So.
Thank you, Michael.
Anyway, but you managed to step on a pet peeve of mine today, Dr.
I love pet peeves. Go for it.
Yes. I don't remember the exact way you phrased it, and perhaps you phrased it in a way that wouldn't do this. But you said that biology is reducible to chemistry, and I will agree with you that chemistry and physics are fundamental to biology. But I disagree with the idea that it's reducible, because biology has in it a principle called evolution, which does not naturally fall out of chemical principles or physical principles that we know. That matter has the ability to reproduce and evolve and increase its complexity. It's not inconsistent with physics and chemistry, and indeed the process uses physics and chemistry, but it is an emergent property that physics and chemistry does not capture in its theory, at least as far as it's developed today.
Okay, Michael?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, great. Well, we must agree on everything now.
Yeah, no, so let me.
I'm glad you guys agree. I would like to know if either one of you know if a fat in my body could be teleported somewhere.
No, let me highlight the point that Michael's making. Michael, you make a very good point. What you're saying is you cannot use the principles.
But I can't date smart men because I can understand
what
it.
I'm going to reword what he said, and I think you'll agree with this. You can't use the principles of chemistry, even though biological processes are traceable to chemistry. You can't use the principles of chemistry to predict or to foretell the fact that biology has this thing called natural selection leading to evolution.
I totally disagree. You're both wrong. You're wrong. I don't even have to tell you why. I'm just telling you wrong. Like Michael, a Republican, I'm just going to scream, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Michael, I agree. It's an emergent feature.
No,
and thank
you're right.
you for that point.
You are right.
And I'll be
You're welcome. And my mom has a major crush on you, Dr. Tyson, too.
Ooh, that's kind of kinky, Someone comes at my mom, Well, give her my regards.
Okay, I will. She broke her hip, but she'll be glad to hear that she's got your best wishes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks for calling,
she
Michael.
Feels better. Thanks, Michael.
All right.
She broke her hip, but she loves you.
All right. You're listening to Star Talk. We're tweetable at Star Talk Radio. Also, 1-877-5-STAR Talk. Our subject today is Star Trek.
Even another caller?
Theme, subject, and all that relate to it.
That guy was smart.
Yeah. No, he's good, and he's very careful and very, very pedagogical, I would say.
Pedagogical.
Pedagogical.
What does that mean?
He has teaching